Welcome in to another team check-in. It's day 582 of doing these for me. But I am joined by the wonderful Renegades, the new look roster from Renegades from last year. And some familiar faces, that's for sure, on this roster between the two. Gents, just before we begin, would you all just introduce yourself? Because we're giving this out in podcast format as well for those at home. Mm-hmm. So just so they can get used to your voices, we'll start with you, LASBRA.
Yo, I'm LASBRA. I used to play mid lane for Trifecta in Season 6, and then I switched to LG and played jungle, and now I'm playing jungle for Renegades.
I'm SoloOrTroll, also known as SOT. I played on Splice solo lane my rookie year last year, just one phase. It went pretty well, so now I'm back on solo lane for Renegades.
You prefer SOT, is that okay?
I don't care.
Okay, it's just easier to say than the whole name, yeah. Okay, cool. Who are you?
Hello.
ASMR version, okay.
Hello. I'm BaRRaCCuDDA. I've been playing Hunter for 6, 7 years, 8 years.
Ever? Yeah.
Since I was born. Been through 6, 7 orgs. I've been around the block.
The usual.
Yeah.
One of the long time standing ones. Fantastic for you coming on. Thank you so much for coming here, first of all, today and doing this with me. Want to do the throwback to last year, first of all. Let's just get this out of the way to begin with. All of you had a pretty a rough time of it throughout the whole period, honestly. Lars, I'm going to start with you, first of all. This was your first rookie year. I got a chance to interview you back home, first of all, before you made the jump. You went to mid, then you went to jungle. How do you feel about how the year went for you overall?
I was pretty excited to be in SPL playing SML for a year. But, it didn't go that well. But switching from jungle to mid lane is just such a huge switch. So it's so hard. And then when I got back to the jungle, I felt pretty off. I had to get a few months to get back into the role and get back to shot calling and all that. So, I'm happy to be back in the jungle at least this season.
End of the year, you ended up on LG, right?
Yeah.
You had that potential running through placements. Where do you think it went wrong for you guys at the end of the year?
We had a bit of problems with scrims in the end because we lost our internet. We had visa issues, so we had somebody had to go back, and we had lost a few days of practice there. That was pretty annoying. But it went pretty well to some extent, and then we lost to Sanguine. We had to play 2 games that day, and it was super late when we got to play against Sanguine. It was I was so tired at that point. So it's I feel we should have beat them, but yeah.
So stamina was the issue.
Yeah. But they had the same. They went through the same,
That's
so
true.
Can't really blame them on that. But
definitely rough through the placements, that's for sure. SOT, going to turn to you next. Obviously, joined Splice late on with Splice's drama that all proceeded. That was your first real shot.
Yeah.
How long have you been trying to get this shot?
Pretty much since the kickoff land, way back in the day. I watched Cog Red, and both Cogs a huge inspiration to me. And mostly since I was still new to the game because I just started around when Spine was released, and seeing BaRRa win Worlds definitely inspired me a ton, and I just wanted to do that. So
now, end of Splice this year, obviously made it to the World Championships, didn't go as planned. How do you feel about it? How did the team feel about it at the time?
we were all pretty down about it. I was pretty down because it was my first time actually taking a big loss, because the only other loss was when we lost to Renegades in the normal phase, and that was a pretty big loss for me, but it kind of just motivated me more, I guess. Kind of inspired me more just to get better.
Were you happy with your performance through the season to an extent? For your opening rookie start, how do you feel you did?
Yeah, I think I did pretty well. I did fine. I thought I'd do worse. I thought I would do worse, but I did fine, so I'll take it.
Did you find it more of did you expect the challenge to be as much as it was? Was the challenge as much as you expected when you first came to the Pro League?
I don't know. I thought it'd be harder, but it's kind of free, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Everyone kind of sucks, so I don't know.
We'll see how season 7 goes then, shall we?
Yeah.
We'll definitely move on to that. All right, finally, last but not least, the man that's been around forever. Mm-hmm. Probably, from a competitive standpoint, the most dismal year you've had. Mm-hmm. That mustn't have been easy, but at the same time, you've had such success through the years. Mm-hmm. How was it for you?
It was brutal. The entire year was just awful because everyone was just they're just not scrimming, they just don't care. We were putting in double scrims 5, sometimes 6 days a week.
Yeah.
And then we would come to SPL, we'd throw it a Fire Giant, or a Gold Fury, or a Phoenix Push every single time, because a lot of our games, we actually played really well, in my opinion.
I can see that.
A lot of our games were winnable, and then it was just every single time, regardless of the game, something would happen and we would lose. And then, the United set, where they were a minute from being DQ'd.
Yeah.
We get a 5K lead every game and lose. And then the last game, Benji 1v5 stole fire. And then in the splice set, 1-2 games, 3 games in a row, we threw a fire giant. Literally 3 games in a row.
I wasn't going to beat you with that. I was more like,
No,
hey,
trust
just
me.
in general, because
It
was a rough year.
So overly aware of all of our issues last year to where being on this fresh new team, not having those issues, it's like a breath of fresh air. Because
I mean, for the fans at home, they don't necessarily realize how important morale can really play into this, right? And then if you go on these streaks of losses, and I think each of you had those moments, like, how hard is it to try and bounce back and like try and keep the morale going when things just keep going wrong?
It's awful and really hard because everyone can just be like, oh, don't worry, guys, we'll win this
Next
set.
week.
Yeah, next week, we'll win this set. Don't worry. We just lost to Obey. We just lost to LG. The other 2 bottom teams. Don't worry. We'll get better. And then, like, you have such good performances against other teams, even like the top teams. I feel like we were contenders a lot of times. And then at the end of the day, we just lose. And it was so frustrating and so annoying because I felt like our roster was way better than we're actually playing. And having to go back to the scrim block of, don't worry, guys, no top team will scrim us anymore. Let's scrim SML teams and the other bottom SPL teams. Like,
did you win the scrims?
Sometimes.
Okay, that's good. That's good. You know, there's upside there.
But then it was just like, we're winning scrims, and we can't even transition that into SPL. And then a lot of times in scrims, you're not in those like fire giant dances that you're in SPL, because some SPL fire giant dances last 10, 15 minutes, and you're just there, like. And
dancing
neither
around.
team can do fire giant, and you fight, and like 3 of each team dies, and you still can't do fire. Then you go back and dance again. So then Sino's like, boys, we're committing to fire giant regardless of what happens. And sometimes, we'd all die. But
Sometimes.
yeah. And honestly, shout outs to Sino because he did not deserve all of the flack that he got last year being on our team.
Yeah.
I think he
came into a situation, right?
Yeah, he came into a team that was falling apart, and he had to change his entire playstyle, change his god pool to fit our team. And I think everyone was roasting a lot of his picks, but that was what he needed to do to step up and play well on our team.
For the team.
Yeah.
More than
And
anything else.
I mean, he just forced calls because we weren't going to do it ourselves because we were so scared and timid from all of the previous downfalls of fire giants that we'd had before.
Right, enough about last year.
Yeah.
For now, okay? Like, we've got the new team now, the Renegades. You've got the roster together. Really, I want to start off with, like, how did this come to be? Because you've all come kind of from different teams. We don't even spoke about Jake yet. We'll get there. But, like, where did you all, or how did this all come together? Who was the person that started to make these links?
Oh yeah, I'll go. So, me and Ven are already teammates, so we kind of already had that bond. I know Ven wanted to team with Emilzy, and they kind of had BaRRA. They all want, like, Ven, Emilzy, BaRRA kind of wanted to have like a trio and kind of build off that because I feel like that's a pretty good trio to have. And so Ven came up to me, Emilzy came up to me at Worlds, and were like, "Hey, talk to us. We kind of want you on our team." And then we want like a solid jungler that can like kind of fit the team environment and like the play style we want. And LASBRA was like a really good fit, pretty much the perfect fit. And he was on board. And I think Ro was already there too.
Yeah.
With Emilzy because they're kind of they have a good bond. And then Emilzy wanted to quit obviously. And then we started going over support options, and we found Jake.
So the connections really came from, like, you and Ven together, SoloOrTroll and Ven together, BaRRaCCuDDA and Emilzy were talking about it, but you also knew Ven very well. Ro came along with the package of Emilzy to an extent. And then LASBRA stepped in because he's been like, we need a jungler, right? So LASBRA was the pick up there. Emilzy chose to not continue, which everyone knows now, and that's where Jake came in.
Yeah. And then,
where did Jake come from? Because this is the one that the fans at home want to know, really, right? Like, how this came about.
Yeah. And I'll go over the supports that we kind of had in mind. We were going to get Trix Tank at the start, but he only wanted to play one phase, I think. And Trick's really good, obviously, but I don't think he wants to fully commit, obviously, because he wants to do like his studies, whatever. And we wanted someone that can fully commit to the team and can fully just be there all year and just grow together. And another support was Gamma, but we think Jake kind of fits that role more and has more mechanical skills, so we went with Jake overall. It was a big risk because he hasn't really played competitive. He's just like a ranked monster. So
And I think that's where the conversation about Jake begins, really, is the fact that he's never really played in some of the competitive scene before. So this really feels like out of left field. Like at least most players we see come to the Pro League door have played some Challenger-esque. Jake, not so much. So this is a big, risk for you guys. And I think that's one of the reasons the fans are like, wait, what's going on here?
Yeah. I did play a bit with Jake. I'm good friends with him, and I know like his friends, like his old teammates, and I kind of know his play style. I know how he is in competitive to an extent, like in SML and all that. So I knew a little bit, so I could trust him to an extent.
Are the fans wary for no reason here because what they know about Jake, or what they've seen at least on streams and in the competitive scene, is a different beast. But all a lot of people have talked about is the weird picks that could be useful to you, I guess, but also these negative KDs where it's 0 and 15, 0 and 16. You can see why the community is, kind of seeing it this way.
I think he's just got a previous stigma of being the 0-15 guy that just runs it down every game. But funny enough, he won a lot of those games. And
It's a good point.
is, for me, the exact opposite playstyle of Jeff. And it's honestly kind of a breath of fresh air, because a lot of times we're on the back foot, and now Jake will literally, I streamed a lot of ranked with him. He'll just be like, oh, I gotta dive this. I'm just like, whoa, bro. This is completely new to me, and I love playing with Jake. He is.
I would bring that up. I mean, Jeff out now, honestly. That's been a long-standing partnership, so much so that you have a voice-packing game together, right? So this is the first time that you're out on your own. It's the same way Cubo Fred is now on his own away from Trickstank, These two long-standing partnerships are gone. How do you feel about the breath of fresh air, Is this a revitalization of BaRRaCCuDDA potentially?
I think it'd be different if we hadn't lost all year last year.
Right.
If I was just... Because I left SSG to go with Vin and Emilzy at the beginning of this, and I think if we had lost all last year, it'd be completely different. But now I just knew I had to kind of get off that team and get onto a new team, because for whatever reason we weren't doing well. But it's so nice playing with Jake. He is a machine.
It's a lot of confidence for you to be saying that, because you're well respected, known for a long time in the scene, and even you are giving him the credit where it's due to an extent before the viewers have even seen him play yet.
And
risky.
Going into it, I was like, I kind of had the previous stigma. I was like, I don't know how well Jake's gonna play. SOT talked him up a ton, and I was still a little shaky on it because I had the previous stigma of he will just end.
Sure.
And he comes in and just I play ranked with him, and he's just literally 1v2ing in lane. I'm like, and he wins the 1v2s. So I'm just like, what is happening? And then we scrim, and he's just destroying, and I'm like, okay.
I guess this is the way forward.
It's so different.
As I say, it's big for you as well, right? Because you put Jake forward.
Yeah.
You were new in the scene. There's a lot of responsibility by you trying to recommend someone that's not seen competitive play before. And I think the worst thing for this team as a whole is if Jake struggles at the beginning, which is really hard as a support to enter the Pro League because it's a different beast altogether. Yeah. You guys are going to be the ones that people are going to look at first of all well, you guys said this would be good. That's a lot of weight to put on your shoulders.
Yeah, definitely. I knew that coming in. I talked him up a lot. I said an hour speech of saying how good it is. I have more confidence in him than I have any other player, and more confidence in him than I do in myself. I know he's gonna frag. I mean, if he doesn't, then I'm looking really dumb. But I think he'll do well. I'm fairly certain.
Now I want to look at the rest of the team now as well. Obviously, include LASBRA a little bit in this. All of you have kind of come from different walks of different teams and how things have gone for you, and you're being put on the lower end of the table coming into this year. Some of you have probably been on teams before that you're looked at as potentially the winners of Worlds or the winners of phases. How does it feel coming in, having the fans look at you as underdogs or bottom end of the table?
I mean, I personally love it. Just being I guess people don't really have any expectations, and then when you end up winning or something and surprise people, it just feels good.
Yeah, is it a little bit less pressure?
Yeah, way less pressure. But
what are you, SoloOrTroll? I mean, you joined for Splice, right? And Splice, technically they just won Worlds at the time, so big replacement there for you.
It doesn't really matter to me too much. It is a lot less pressure, but I didn't feel that much pressure anyway, because I mean, I kind of went in knowing that we were gonna win. Most of our SPL games, I mean, it's kind of bad to go in thinking you're probably gonna lose. So I kind of feel like we were gonna win anyway, and I don't really care what people say, so it doesn't really matter too much to me.
End of the day, with you as well. I mean, you've tried really hard to get, like you said, since the start. So like being an underdog still, kind of fits the style.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I haven't really been like on the top. The only time I was like on top was like on Spice, and that was my first year. So I don't know. I mean, I don't really care too much.
But for you, it's a completely different story. You've been fan favorite, the golden child of the Smite since the existence, pretty much, from North America. Now it looks like you're with the boys of the underdog team.
It's so nice. Because for about, I would say 5 years, like people expected me to be in Worlds Finals pretty much every year.
Yeah.
Maybe season 3, but then once we got to Worlds and we faced Energy, people were like, oh,
they can still do it.
Actually a good team. And then when we had Baskin, obviously everyone thinks you're going to be number 1 and win Worlds. And then, season 6 rolled around and it was just so weird because you knew you were a good player. You deserve to be here, and then you lose over and over again. So it's really hard, and I think being on a fresh new team and having everyone with just new mentals is such a big deal because everyone comes into scrims with a completely different mindset and completely different thought process, and I'm busy thinking about those things instead of, I wonder what happens in SPL. And it's just really nice to team with these guys.
Would you rather be in this spot now than of being the underdogs and like not being valued by the fans, or would you rather be seen as potential favorites?
Underdogs, 100%.
Is there a particular reason for that?
Well.
I personally say like favorites, in my opinion.
You prefer being favorites?
I don't know. I'm used to it.
Is that because like you're like the fans give you the recognition, so to speak, of like you're a good player? Is that what it is about it?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter too much to me. It doesn't make that much of a difference. But if I had to choose, I'd rather be known as like a top team instead of like known as like the lower end, because then I feel more accomplished, I guess.
But big point to prove then this year, Moving towards esports in season 7 then, just a little bit more talk about esports in general. How do you feel about the changes this year to, season 7, the structure, so to speak, of the SPL? Obviously last year there was some downtime, visa issues and big breaks in between. How you felt about the structure this year with, going to get regular games, guaranteed game every week? Do you think that's going to be a better boon this year?
Well, there was segments last year where we didn't play for a month, and then we played 4 games. So playing every week is definitely way better because it just helps practice schedules, because a lot of times you haven't played in 4 weeks, so you don't really know what's going on actually in SPL. Like, you can watch the games, but it's just way nicer to play every week.
Yeah, especially when you go into the sets and you lose, like you have to improve on that. And then if you have to wait, like you play the set and you have to wait like 3 weeks, like you usually want to take the information you have from the lost set into the new set. But if you have to wait 3 weeks and then get that in, it can be a bit hard to like make sure that happens.
Cool.
Except like if you play like every week, it's like a bit easier for sure.
I'm going to say you're very quiet on the mic, so I'm just going to pull you in a little bit closer. The fans are very upset if I don't do that, just so you know, so get a bit closer. Okay, cool. So you feel the same way?
Yeah, definitely.
You like the changes
that's
this
like
year?
My favorite part about this year is like every week, because I love playing, so I'm just happy to play more and play every team twice, I think it was.
Yeah, twice in the first phase, 3 times in phase 2 as well, so we get a bit more specific. And the weight of the points as well, because there's a point system this year, if you've not realised. Some guys don't really, but you'll get value points for like where you finish in the first phase, and you get points for the second phase, and you can actually qualify straight to Worlds without having to do placements or anything, just from the group stage.
I definitely like the best of 3s as well instead of the best of 5s.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. Is that a big difference for you boys? Because like fans seem to like best of 5s. You guys some do, some don't. Like, how do you feel about best of 3 versus 5s?
I mean, I think we play each team 2 times in the first phase now, so like surely one team can like 3-0 somebody, but then like you can look back at the
2-0 someone.
Yeah, now you have like an opportunity to actually go back and beat them again in the first phase instead of waiting like half a year to play them again.
That's true.
Yeah. This is not even it was my first SPL phase last season, so I don't really know what best of 3 on LAN feels like, but I liked best of 5 a lot. I mean, it was fun because it felt like kind of like a big day, kind of like a lot of effort into it instead of just like, like a few games here, then done. But I think best of 3 is really good also.
Do you reckon it helps with the adjustment of like you playing every week now as well though? Because I mean, otherwise you might get a double header of 2 best of 5s, and you're coming next week another best of 5, and like
definitely best of 3 is definitely better for this schedule, and like for the schedule we have now. Yeah, definitely.
And LAN should all be best of 5, all be well.
Also having best of 5 on LAN also makes it more hype. So.
We've always wanted to do it that way. What about you, BaRRa? You've been through it all, so.
I like best of 3s. Last year we would have won a lot of sets. We were best.
Yeah, United for one.
I mean, last year aside, I do like best of 3s a lot. I feel like you can come in with a strategy and win 2 games, and then best of fives kind of allow 4 teams to adapt over time, whereas best of threes, if you win game 1 and they didn't look well in the strat at all, you can just run the same thing game 2.
That's true.
It's way easier to close out sets against teams in best of threes. So I think if you actually have the better strategy, you should win that day.
Have the advantage. I'm very excited about the meta this year because if everyone played every week, there's going to be a little time to adapt, I guess, to an extent. I'm talking about Season 7 with the map changes and the in-game stuff as well. I did want to touch on that a little bit. How do you guys feel about the changes in the map? Obviously, you know, main focus I'm really talking about here is Gold Fury side of the map. Sorry, SOT. Like, every solo lane I've spoken to has been like, yeah, it's kind of the same for us. But like the other parts of the map, you know, the choke points in mid have changed. Some extra experience on the left-hand side of the map, changing the jungle. How have you guys found it so far?
I mean, different on the Gold Fury fights is a bit different because usually I would love to flank around the right hobbies, or like left, whatever that would be, right? Now you can't really do that, so there's like you can go behind Gold Fury now, or you can go straight into the fight. So it kind of changes my playstyle a bit, but it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah,
for now.
Yeah, for now. At least.
What about you, Barra?
Alpha Harpy is really hard to do sometimes.
Yeah, he is.
Sometimes I've done a lot in ranked, just testing, and sometimes I'm like, all right, I have Hunter's Blessing, boots finished. I will still lose 200 health to this thing, and it's not worth it. And
what's your potion?
I popped the potion.
Okay.
And I'm just like, I spent 50 gold to do this thing.
I got 60 XP or something like that, right? It's over that much. Do you reckon it's going to change the map at all around? With some of the changes, like, do you expect any different pressure points potentially?
I think you can pressure duo a little easier with like the Season 5 run it down strat. I think a lot of teams will stick with the speed invade. I think it just depends on the team whether they want to play through duo or play through, I guess, Season 6 style. So I think every team will have their own different style and different way they want to play the map.
Gotcha. So there's going to be a bit more variability there. Because I think generally the meta develops over time in the Pro League, and like we get to find out who's doing the right thing, who's not. I'm guessing you guys are trying to strategize on different starts and things as well, right? Because Purple's also up at the beginning of the game and speak. Why are you laughing like that? What? I want to know now.
I just think about it. It's like,
is it just Jake's ideas or something coming to it? Is that what it is?
Kind of.
Chalice, by the way, in the jungle this year. How do you feel about that? Is that going to be your responsibility?
Nah. Vanina can do that.
It's Vanina's fault. I'm hearing that from the junglers all the time, by the way.
I'll tell Jake to go there, or like, I'm not going to do it. I'll do it sometimes.
You better.
Yeah. I just told Jake to go from dueling to the chalice I'm doing, and I'm like, yeah, you can do it.
Okay. SOT for you, solo lane, like I've spoke to a couple of solo lanes. So how are you feeling about it so far this year?
It's relatively the same, but I think with the buff and Miscom now, that kind of adds some other like Guardians that you can play. There's a lot of other characters too, like and Colin buff. I know kind of adds him to the meta. It's kind of like he's been kind of like the flavor pick kind of. I think he's a little overrated a little bit. I'm not sure. I mean,
don't like too much.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Miscom out, the buff and Miscom out kind of brings in some other gods, which I think is really cool.
Cool.
So it's like the same but a little bit different.
So a little bit of variability, but not too much. Did you think it needed much change there?
I mean, not really. I was fine with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I just would have preferred like buffs and nerfs to gods, which they did. Like they nerfed Achilles, they nerfed Thor a little bit, they nerfed Tyr a little bit. They nerfed some gods, so I think that's really cool. I think that's what it needed.
Cool. So solo lanes, business as usual, but a bit more flavor.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like it, yeah.
From a hunter perspective, any real difference other than, Alpha Boss Man Harpy that's there? It really is. It's called Alpha Harpy, and it really should be, right? Because it's proper Alpha.
I hate calling it Alpha Harpy and then getting in game because it just feels so cringy. Like, okay, let's go do
what else do you want to call it? what do you want to call it?
I don't know.
Because we've got Alpha Harpy, we got Baby Harpies in mid now, and we've got the normal Harpies on the other side.
Yeah, every time I walk to mid, I'm like, really, mid laners? Like, you one-shot
both of them.
I spend a health pot in like 30 seconds trying to solo this thing.
It stops you rotating, that's why.
Yeah,
right? Keeps you
30
there.
gold. Yeah, it's great.
Is it a trap to go for that after wave one? Because I think we see a lot of some of the casuals have not realized yet that like they push first wave, they get pressure, and then they try and steal Alpha Harpy and then lose.
It's just team comp or duo lane
oriented.
In the
so
2v2.
is an army and you're safe.
Yeah, so sometimes you can get it, and sometimes you should really not go for that and just stay in wave. It just depends. I mean, gods obviously like Hu Yi.
Yep.
You got a lot of damage there. Sometimes super aggressive supports can solo those things, and
just comp dependent,
yeah.
really. Okay, good to hear. Moving on then, back to esports a little bit more. Competition this year in the league. How are you feeling about the state of the league in terms of like what your competition looks like? Are you excited? Are you nervous? Are you worried? Clearly the fans, like I said, got you as underdogs at the moment, but rest of the league, like, how do you feel you square up against them?
I'm very excited to play.
Yeah.
I'm just very excited to see how well we do, and I'm very excited to see how we play on LAN. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, same for me. Yeah, I think we could be like a top 3 team. Like over time, I think we're good now, but I think we need some time just to grow as a team. And I've always been a player that kind of shows up on game day, rather than like scrim day or whatever. And so I think we'll be good for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I remember my first SML LAN where I played with in Signum. I was pretty nervous. I expect Jake to be somewhat nervous as well, so like the start might be a bit rough, but I'm expecting to be like top 3 as well by the end of the year.
Okay, end of the year, real quick. If you guys were not involved for various reasons, right? Let's just say you didn't make top 2, didn't get to finals. Which other 2 teams would you say would make finals this year based off what you know about them so far? Gotta give me 2 each, boys.
Probably SSG and Rival. I mean, I think all the teams are actually like pretty even. Like even like Sanguine, like they can do really well. I mean, I think they're underrated as well. I think a lot of teams, like I think almost every team in the league could like win Worlds, or like they can make it to top 2 for sure.
That's lovely, but I want 2.
Yeah, I'd say SSG and Rival.
Okay, cool.
I got a SSG and Ghost.
SSG Ghost. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Rival PK.
Ooh, the PK Spy. So you're going to go back to back for the SK team, basically.
I think
At least to finals.
if the meta is the same way or similar to Season 6, and Neil can just run around the map and do whatever he wants, I think that's his meta.
Did any of the rosters surprise you that you saw get picked up? Did any of them like surprise you at all?
The Cuba pickup on PK was kind of feels like out of left field. I mean, I don't know why, but it just feels weird to me. And then Sam with Rival, honestly, like both of those, and then Twig going mid.
Yeah.
It just feels weird to me. I mean, it makes sense.
I mean, when you think about it, you're like, BaRRa's not with Jeff anymore, right? Like, that's also like for the other fans of those teams, like, well, they're not together. We're not used to that either. Do you reckon it's just going to be a different spice then? It's not going to be, do you reckon it's going to have knock-on effects? Clearly, you think PK is still potentially going to make finals, right? Even with Cuvo.
Just depends on if the meta, like, if they can funnel farm into Paul, and Paul can play his God pool and be level 13 when the other mid laner is level 10. It'll work.
Easy game. Just do the same for Ven. That's all you're going to do, right?
I'm going to take all his farm.
All of it?
Yeah, all of it.
But that puts the responsibility on you then. Are you okay with that?
I'll take it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll take it.
Back to in-game real quick. You mentioned about like picks and things. I don't want your underrated picks because that's pro league talk, and I don't want you to give strats away. Colin mentioned there, silly. Don't do that. Overrated picks though. Who do you think at the moment, like the community or people generally are overrating at the moment who shouldn't be overrated?
I want to say Yemoja.
Yeah.
Just sometimes in ranked, the Yemoja player just does absolutely nothing, and sometimes she hard carries. So I think if you can't play the god, then I think you should probably not be banning.
Isn't that every god though? The same
Well,
way,
every
right?
god's not banned literally every ranked game.
That's true. I mean, hang on, we've been through metas, but I mean, Stella got banned for like 8 months. Bellona got banned for 8 months. Like, we've been through those before. But you really think it's like playstyle dependent of if a god's
I think like
overrated for you?
For the fans, not like SPL.
Okay.
And
In
everything.
SPL terms, what do you think's overrated?
Oh,
I guess I better look at this one.
That's a really hard question to answer on it.
I don't even know. I don't.
That's.
You've got no overrated picks? That's
I
crazy.
mean, I have like kind of.
There's got to be something where you're like, yeah, leave it. Don't worry about it. Pfft, no chance.
At least to my point, I think kind of Thor.
Thor?
Yeah, I mean, he's good, and like especially if you get ahead, then he's like kind of puck stummy. But if you're equal and if you're behind, like I feel like a lot of other guys can do way more than he does.
Anything for you, SOT?
Definitely. I'm pretty sure Vamana is overrated.
Really?
Like, Ven said it himself, like the Vamana SPL curse, whatever you pick Vamana and SPL, you're just gonna lose. Like, I played Vamana, and I swear, like, I was fed the entire game. I was like only farming, right?
Yeah.
I was like level 20, everyone's like level like 16 or whatever, and like I get one shot. Like, I ult and they pop Curse Song. Like, it happened to me in a rank game. I ult Vamana ulted, like they upgraded Curse Song, upgraded Sunder, Girdle, and then they just one shot. And then they have full anti-heal, and they just one shot me.
See, you had a team that bought Cursed Ankh against you, which most people don't seem to do for some reason. But Vamana did get changes, though,
Yeah,
right?
he
Like,
did,
he's got a buff on his ult again.
Yeah.
He now basically gets free hasten katana to an extent during the ultimate, and he gets extra regen. Do you think it's still going to be the case with him?
I think
And he can go through walls, too.
Yeah, I think he's good. Like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's solid, but I don't think he, like, I see some people say he's, like, OP or whatever, but I'm pretty sure he's, like, he's definitely fine, but, like, he's more of a mid-game god, I think, because people don't have, like, their damage online, and if the Horners are burning Sov, they can't kill them on. So yeah, I think he's good, but I think he's a little overrated.
Just a little bit overrated. Okay. New gods as well. Obviously, like this is a rare period in Smite SPL history where we get multiple gods released and available for the first time. Normally, it's one at a time. They stagger through. But this year, we're going to have Yemoja, Heimdall definitely up at the start of the season. Mulan probably going to break in at some point as well. Does that make a big change for you guys, having more like new gods in the game? Is that going to shake the meta up much? Or do we just expect a ban heap? Like, how do you go about dealing with that?
I think it's going to take 2 to 3 weeks before people actually realize what's good.
Yeah.
I think the first 2 or 3 weeks will just be teams just
Comfort
mashing,
picks.
whatever they've been playing in scrims against each other, and some teams will win, some teams will lose. And then after that, people will start target banning or realizing, oh, we can actually beat this god, or no, we cannot play against this god whatsoever. So I think it'll just be whatever teams want to play.
Okay. About you two, any differences there?
I mean, I was just want to play against the new guards and scrims and stuff, see how they are, and like I want the enemy team to play it, I want us to play it, and then figure out like, do we know how to play against it? Do we know how to play with it and all that? And then it's just like, okay, we don't know how to play with it. We don't just ban it if it's a strong pick, right?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think like it takes a few weeks, and I think one kind of weird thing that happens with new gods is like if people think it's like super OP, they insta ban it, and so that kind of leaves open another OP god, or like because you only have like a certain number of bans, and so you put one of those like important bans like the new god, and it's kind of just like it kind of leaves open another OPs. So that could be kind of a clown fiesta, but it takes a few weeks to like understand how good they are.
I did ask the other teams this as well. Like, how do you guys go about in your scrims with the new gods? Like, do you like talk to the other team and go, hey, we'd really like to try out Yemoja. Do you mind if we give it a go? Hey, we would like you guys to play it so we can practice against it. Like, what do you normally do? Or is it normally banned until it's in ranked and then we'll talk about it then?
Yeah, well, Mulan is in the game right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't tried to play the god yet, and I guess we just wait for it's out in ranked, and then you're allowed to pick it.
Is that kind of the plan that you guys normally go with? It's when it's in ranked, we'll start looking at it. No one really gets in game earlier or anything like that.
I think like with the next like if the next week or like the next next SPL game, like if the new god's available, then we'll be like, okay, we want to play it. Then that'll happen. But if the god's not available for like another like few weeks, then we won't really like play it.
Yeah,
because there's not really a point to play it.
And then some teams will let you play the god, like you say, hey, we want to play Yemoja ADC. They'll leave it open. Some teams are like, no, we just hate playing against that god. We'll just keep it banned.
Yeah, we're going to ban it all the way through. Okay, that's an interesting one. So moving towards the house first of all, are you guys in a house? I know you live with Destiny, right? Of course, so you've got your own place, but the rest of you in a house together?
Yeah.
So it's you two plus Jake, Venenu, and Ro, right?
And 2 dogs.
And 2 dogs?
Yeah, Venenu's dogs.
Oh, I thought you were going to call Jake and Dog. I was like, wow, whoa, we barely started things off. Who got the biggest room?
Ven got the master room, but he also...
How? Why?
He was the first one to be there, and he also set everything up with his dad, like the kitchen, everything is just ready when we got there. There was like sofas.
Okay.
He bought like a VR, so we had like a VR room as well.
Oh,
like he just made everything ready.
What have you been doing on the VR?
I haven't
tried it out?
I haven't tried it yet, but I know he plays
watched
like The Walking Dead, something like that.
I asked him last time to try it, but we were busy. So.
But I'll try it at one point.
Cool, so the house is working out so far so well. I can understand Ven getting the biggest room then, right? Like doing all the stuff.
Actually, I got the biggest room because I have like one room with my bed in, and I have like another room where I have like my setup and stuff.
Oh.
But he has the master, so he has like a jacuzzi, I think, right?
A jacuzzi?
Like the jacuzzi tub.
What
like
the
that.
heck?
So
I guess Renegades have been good this year to you guys so far. Have you had any issues with them at all? Obviously, last year they had the big visa issues. I'm not going to avoid them. Trust me, I'll bring them up. Like this year, like we're working out okay.
We had a few issues here and there, but then and I would say me did a lot of the behind the scenes everything with getting everything sorted with the house. And
but you've all got you're in the house. You're all comfortable. You're all happy. For
all good.
Exam.
All good for sure.
Cool. So how long have you been there together now as a team in that house?
I came Wednesday. It was last week or 2 weeks ago. I don't remember now. Time flies.
Oh, you're asking me though.
Time flies with the boys. I think it's 1.5 weeks ago. 1 week.
So about a week and a half so far.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got there on Friday, like a few days ago.
So not even a week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm still going to ask you these questions eventually. Are you going to be visiting the house at all, Barra? Is that the plan?
Scrim there, yeah.
So the scrim days, you're going to travel to there to scrim room?
Yeah.
That was a big thing for like the trio of like me, Millsy, and Vin. Was that they wanted me to scrim at the house, and I was 100% down for it because, but last year, you just learn so much more scrimming together, being in a room together, hanging out together. And when you're all doing your own thing, some people are on Reddit, some people are on Twitter, some people are just watching YouTube videos.
And now you can see them do it.
Yeah. And
right?
I think as well for picks and bans and actual team talks, having everyone be there in a group discussing or just writing things on a whiteboard or doing anything together, it just makes you a stronger team. And
it did seem from an outside looking in at Space Station Gaming, you were one of the only teams last year that did have that separation of players flying in for the games, and like you're someone that's adjusted that for this year, right?
Yeah, and I thought that was really important. So literally right after they told me that they wanted me, we went out house searching and we bought a house way closer to the scrim house. And
fantastic.
It was a whole fiesta and off season.
I can imagine.
Here we are.
But here we are, and you're going to be scrimming with them. That's great to hear too. All right then, some questions about the state of the house. Yeah. You ready? These are just some little fun bits. It might be a little bit too early for some of these, but we can get some early day talk about it, okay? We'll definitely revisit this later on, and then with Barra visiting, he can really inform the truth, okay? Who do you not want to go in the bathroom after? In the game house.
I don't know.
If you had to give someone, if you've not
we haven't
realized
been have any like
issues
and stuff with that. So
okay, but if you had to,
I'd probably just choose myself.
Yeah, there's behind the scenes stories about certain things there. That's up to you.
I don't know, honestly.
Okay.
I'm trying to think because like Van has his own bathroom. Jake has there's like kind of bathrooms.
Oh, so you don't have to use bathrooms. Okay, who takes the longest showers then so far?
Probably me, honestly. Like,
yeah?
I'm pretty sure I do.
I mean,
is there a reason for it? Are you like making videos for YouTube and stuff like that? Because that is.
No, I don't know. It's just nice. Like the water's just nice. So I just like I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I listen to music and just chill in the shower.
Well, I shower at the gym and we go to the gym like 5-6 times a week, and then I'll take maybe a shower at home. It takes 5 minutes or something.
Okay.
But at the gym they have to wait for me, so I just do a really quick shower there, and then that's it.
So how have you been working out groceries and things? Have you all been shopping together for the groceries? Do you go out on your own?
Yeah, we go as a team, and then I'll just pay for it. Then they just would just PayPal me. We split it
okay.
4 or 5 ways.
So you share it
You
out.
just buy whatever, and then obviously there's a few things that you want to buy on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know, candy, whatever you want to buy, snacks and all that.
Yeah,
they just pay themselves, but the food we buy together, and then I would say Ben has been cooking the most, and then
Yeah, but see some of these tweets, right?
Yeah,
How's the food been?
it's been
great.
It's been pretty good. It's
What's the laughter for? I need to know about. Barra,
Nah,
what?
Jake was roasting his pizza. He made
Was he?
Yeah, Ben was like, "How's the pizza?" And Jake was like, "Good." It
Wow.
was all right. And Ben was made the dough from scratch and made everything.
So it's more you all share the food together then? There's no separate shelves, I guess, for little snacky
we have
things
we have
maybe?
a few things, right? Whatever you want on your separate shelf, you can get that, right? But
Okay.
if it's dinner and he makes breakfast and all that, he also make a mac and cheese. I don't really like mac and cheese because there's usually a lot of cheese in it. And then he made a mac and cheese, and it's he said I had to try it out, and I was like, yeah, sure. And then there was barely any cheese, so it's just eating macaronis,
Just macaroni.
Yeah, so it's it
Just
tastes fine.
pasta shells, right?
Yeah, but it's almost no cheese. So yeah, that's good.
Okay. Who's the messiest so far?
Probably me. I mean, probably me. I get water on I just have water bottles on my desk, empty water bottles. And my room is a little messy because I have a bunch of boxes in there. So that's probably me.
You really hard on yourself from what I can tell. I'm the one that takes the longest showers. Oh, probably me again. Probably me. We'll see. Who's the cleanest then? Because it can't be you too. So
I would say, yeah, his room is the message right now.
Right.
Maybe Jake as well. He's closest just on the floor right now.
yeah.
But everybody helps cleaning up in the kitchen. Maybe sometimes.
So far.
Yeah, so far.
Yeah.
Maybe
Early days, right?
There's sometimes a bit of a stack, but it's okay, if I start making food, I'll just say Jake or Solo just come out here and do the dishes while I make the food, and then we clean up after the food is made as well. And I just say, you do that, and
Oh, are you mom basically? Is that what you're saying?
yeah,
You just organize the troops. Okay, you clean this.
Yeah,
you clean
if
this.
I'm making the food, I'll just say we have to do this, and empty the trash, and they're can you do that, and then just kind of do assignments. So we all do something, right?
No, that's fair.
So when Ben is cooking, it's I'll just go start cleaning.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a good outlook. So who's the loudest in the house?
I don't know.
No one's been too loud. Ro's definitely the quietest.
Yeah.
Rose in his room.
That's the next question. It's quiet. You beat me to that one.
Yeah.
So
Rose
who's the
got-
loudest?
I mean, I don't
Probably me.
I think Solo's both.
Again, you can't beat everything.
I haven't been.
SOT, everything.
I can't hear anything from my room, so.
Okay.
I mean, I know in scrims I kind of shout a bit sometimes.
All right, who's the laziest? Laziest.
Might I'm in there as well.
Wow.
Solo.
I'm pretty lazy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
We
achievements.
haven't really seen too much, but like, I don't know. Jake or Solo, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But if you say something like Jake has to do something, he will do it. So
Okay.
it's like it's not like he's not gonna do it.
He's lazy until you tell him to do something.
Yeah, but it's his first time living on his own.
Uh-huh.
So I'm fine with that. Like he kind of needs a bit of like maybe guidance because he hasn't tried it before.
Least intelligent. Oh, SOT, please. This is an unintentional roast of SOT. I'm not even trying to do this.
The youngest, and I haven't finished high school, so I mean,
How old are you now?
18. I just turned 18, yeah.
Wow, just 18.
Yeah.
This year?
Yeah. In January, yeah.
So last year you were 17 when you were playing?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm looking forward to your one-on-one then. We'll talk about that at a future day. Most intelligent. If he's the least intelligent, he can't be the most at the same time. So
I don't know if you get intelligent from playing Uno, but I'll just say I won Uno 3 times in a row yesterday. So I'm
Uno champion is now on my list. 1 second.
and
So-
I'm the ping pong champion as well out there in the practice room.
Wow.
So I'm the most intelligent.
Because you can play Uno and ping pong.
Exactly.
Okay. Outside of that, who is the most intelligent?
I'll take that as well. So
Okay.
that's fine.
Do you guys feel any different?
I feel like Barra's pretty intelligent. He has a lot of wisdom. You know,
Is this for
having
the
man.
house?
This is
King
technically for the house, but Barra's going to
Yeah,
be
I would-
visiting
I
a
would
lot
probably
for
say Barra as
scrims.
well,
I mean,
so-
I'm guessing if you're going to be
Yeah.
scrimming quite a lot, he's going to be there too.
Barra's pretty intelligent, but I'll take it. It's fine.
Wait, we didn't say Vin for dumbest. Wait, Vin is definitely the dumbest.
Is he?
Actually,
Yeah,
that shit,
100%.
Yeah.
Oh, he's taking the title from you. You okay with that?
Yeah, you can have that. You can
Okay,
have
I had a
that.
discussion.
Why? He's also the cook. You put the dumb one to cook. That doesn't make sense to me.
No, just talk to Vin for like an hour and
Yeah.
you'll realize.
I try not to be fair. I'm not-
Yeah, we kind of ruined the sleep schedule the other night. Me, Jake, and Ben because we discussing like a few starts and stuff you can do in Smite, and it's like
Oh, like what?
it's just like about
Okay.
yeah, just
I
about
tried.
like,
I tried, viewers. I tried to give you the secrets. They
we
won't
were
give
talking
me.
about like a bit last season and invades and stuff.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to get too much into it, but
No. I was joking.
basically he was,
Don't link your scrim.
Basically,
Sorry.
he was saying like something with something being 100%, and he didn't believe me when I was saying something, and then I had to go in the game prove it like
show
5
it.
times,
Yeah.
and even with that proof, and I set up like
different variations
yeah,
of it. or something.
a different scenario with like I'm not gonna mention
I
that, but
get
like
it.
different scenarios, and then it's like even with the proof, he's like, "You're wrong,"
Yeah.
and I'm like, "No, I literally proved it to you as well."
Bet you, without even knowing, it was probably the chalice gives gold.
No, this is something way worse.
I swear, just hit it and you get gold.
No, I literally had
Okay.
I had nightmares from that.
Who's the funniest? Who is the comedy star here?
I can't. I think I take that. I mean,
How you? This is a positive one. Take it.
I would say him and Jake for sure.
Yeah.
Jake's just hilarious. Like without even trying. Like just like the way he carries himself is really funny.
Okay.
I mean, it depends on the scenario. Jake is
Yeah.
really funny. I mean, I make people laugh, but it's like kind of just completely troll. Whereas Jake is like being serious and is like can't stop laughing.
Okay. I
Yeah.
mean, the one thing I'm getting from all you guys, though, is like, it seems that you're on the same page camaraderie-wise, right? You all seem to be in the same spot and realizing
Yeah.
what the future is for you guys this year.
It's kind of the way, at least I got told that they wanted to make the team. It's like everybody come in with a positive mindset.
Yeah.
We want to be around, hang around each other, and like make a friendship. Because with friendship and like being on the same page, right? It's like it's just so much easier to improve than instead of having somebody who want to do that and that and that. It's okay to do like things you want to do in like in individual time, but if you do like a lot of stuff together, it's like you just get more synergy that way.
It's more talk on chemistry as well, right?
Yeah,
Because like
chemistry,
this is
synergy,
something
yeah.
that like with different teams this year, I've kind of spoke to them more, and they're all like, chemistry is really important. That's something the fans don't really get.
It's extremely important because this team is made to be from the ground up.
Right.
And so we need a lot of people with, in my opinion, strong personalities, but personalities that are moldable to being various play styles or various different mindsets.
Yeah.
And that was a big reason for Jake, in my opinion, was because he's a young player, never been in SPL before, and his mechanical skill is through the roof. And that kind of player is just, it reminds me of kind of old Baskin, Whereas right when he entered the scene, like mechanical skill just through the roof, and Young respected everyone and will listen to anything you say and will try literally anything.
But then he became Basket.
Yeah, but then he became Basket.
Yeah, and then, you know, when did all
The
that
best
go
player
wrong?
in the world.
The best player in the world, in the SEC. Doesn't want to play. That's just the way it's going to be. Okay. Honestly, Barrett, the one thing I do want to touch on as well is there was a picture that came out as soon as Awesome Jake came out, and I lost it over it, which was the turtles of Splinter. Did you see that one? Where it was BaRRaCCuDDA, like, with these little young turtles, and the next one, the turtles are grown up and old age Barra.
I felt a little bad about that one.
I mean, Jake didn't grow up in that picture, funny enough, but like, how do you feel about like that? This is the sort of like plan this year, is everyone's kind of looking at this is Barra and the young guns, like the youth of the future of Smite, you know? Do you feel that way?
I mean, kinda. It just depends if people like bring it up or not, or like, because I mean, people make age jokes like all the time,
Sure.
but it's just sometimes it annoys me, sometimes it's like funny. So it just kind of depends on like my mood that day.
That's fair. I get it. I mean, in terms of age, though, I think it's like not just in terms of your actual age. I think it's also in terms of gameplay. You know, you've been around the scene a very long time, and these are pretty much young guns that you've got on this roster. When you look around, I mean, Ven's the oldest in terms of competitive play outside of yourself. So it's a very young team, you know?
Yeah, and I kind of like it because I really honestly really don't feel that way because whenever we scrim, whenever we talk about things, these guys talk like veterans and they talk like they've been playing the game for years. And like they'll pick up really quickly when something doesn't work, and it just feels like I don't know, it just feels really nice.
Yeah.
Like to just talk to them, and I don't think these guys are amateurs at all.
How do
Like,
you two
or
feel about
young.
that sort of thing, though, SOT LASBRA? Do you feel like, you know, this is old man Barra trying to, like, lead a team to glory, you know, with his, like, general hat on, or is it different for you?
Nah, I feel like we're just all on the same page. I don't really, like, I don't even know how old he is and all that. Like,
I don't even know how old I am.
Who knows?
You're
If
stuck
it's like,
on-
and when it comes to, like, the game and, like, game plans and all that, it's like, I feel like everybody's pretty smart. And we have, like, our own ideas, and we just try to make that work together.
Yeah, I don't feel that at all. Like, I don't feel like that Barra is like, you know, the old man leading us. I feel like we all learn something from each other. Like, we all come from different, you know, walks of teams, and I feel like we all have something to teach each other and to learn from each other.
So we're wrapping up finally. It's not been too long today. Hopefully, I hope you enjoyed it so far. For the viewers at home too, last couple of questions for you. One thing you're each excited about for the start of the league?
To see Jake pop off.
He's going to pop off?
Yeah.
You guys are so confident in this, and like everybody in the world is just like, wait, what? So I'm excited for this too.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to pop off?
Yeah, I mean, first game, because of, like, being nervous and nerves and all that, might not be, but, like, after 2-3 games, I'm pretty sure he'll be doing really good.
What about yourself,
Yeah, I'm
SOT?
just excited to see Jake do well. I mean, that's, you know, I've been eager to see it for like a while, and he's done really well in scrims, and I just know he'll do well.
Also, there's one thing I was wanting to bring up.
Yeah.
With playing every week, I feel like it's way easier for Jake to just
Get the ramp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like we didn't play for like 3 weeks in a row, like at the beginning, and then we played. But since we play every week, I feel like it'll just be way easier for him to adapt and just get used to LAN pretty much and instantly, I guess.
I think it's great that you're all like looking at your teammate of like, I'm really excited. What I said, why are you excited about the start of the league? You're like, what is it, Jake pop off, man? Like, that's all what each of you kind of said here. What's the reason for that? Do you really think he's that undervalued? And you think like once people realize how good he is, you guys are going to fly? Is that what it is?
Yeah, you know, because like once you first join the SPL, I know speaking from experience, so like when you first start scrimming and you get all this knowledge, your skill goes way up, like really fast, and then it kind of like plateaus. But you know, I think Jake is good, like on that like kind of ramp up now, and I think you know, like before he was good obviously, but I saw a lot of myself in him. You know, like my old SML self, like not very like no guidance.
Sure.
And I think and not very disciplined, but like all this like untapped skills. So you kind of just, you know, just lead him the right direction. And
I guess he's got a little bit of help with the team he's with too, because like he's got, like we were just talking about, experience, but also like rookie players that have been through some things too to like support him and guide him.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, also with the house and all that, it's like it's just all new to him.
Yeah.
So we're there for him.
He's going to enjoy the ride, I'm sure. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But outside of like Jake doing well, like what do you guys look forward to outside of Jake and like the performance he's going to show?
Can I talk about Ro?
Yeah, go for it.
Ro.
Who's he?
Is our coach.
There we
and
go.
He is amazing. I love working with Ro. Like even talking to him when we were making this team, just the way he communicates and the way he talks about everything he does for the team, he carries.
Really?
He is a machine.
I mean, that's the thing about coaches for a lot of us. Like, and obviously, we get to see it a little bit as talent and like as casters and like working with you guys in the scene. But each coach is there for some different reason. Not every coach is designed to be the one that does the analytics and the data, right? Like, there's different variations of it. What is it that Ro does?
Everything.
Break it down a little bit more
Literally
for us.
everything you just talked about.
Really?
He does all.
So he's just like mum and dad. He's like making sure the morale's good,
Yeah.
that sort of thing, and the analytics and data too. So what do you guys actually have to do?
Nothing. I don't have to do anything.
Just win games. That's all it's going to be for
Pretty
BaRRa.
much just play and kind of bring out whatever ideas or concerns you have, and kind of just get everyone's input and like Ro's input, pretty much.
Because you've all had different coaches before through the years, right? And you're, as you know, there's different variations of what a coach will do for a team or what the team wants from a coach.
Yeah, for sure.
And Ro also fits our team and our mindset really well with what we want for the team. And then I think he also does a really good job of facilitating ideas and facilitating people to talk about certain things. And we haven't had issues yet, but I think when the issues arise, I think he'll be very good at mediating people's anger and being able to have people on the same page and communicating with each other in a positive way.
Also, like one small thing is like for me, Kabam was like a really sick coach.
Yeah.
And he hard carried me like IRL, and he also hard carried me like in game, but he was more so of like an IRL kind of coach. Like he paid for my stuff because I didn't have a card. He like just taught me a lot of things and helped me like live.
Life lessons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He helped me live, right? And I think Ro's more of like a kind of like a team coach. Not like Ro doesn't really help us like IRL. At least not me. He doesn't really help me like IRL and stuff. But he mostly he does like all like the in-game stuff. And Kamam did help in-game stuff, but he was also really good at like helping me in like real life.
It's also hard for the fans to know what a coach does because every coach is technically different with what they bring in terms of, like you said, Kabam a little bit more about keeping you happy in your life, whereas other ones are more about, well, are we going to fall apart next week without them if they don't have this conversation,
Yeah.
Okay. Finally, last but not least, unless there's anything else you guys want to talk about, because I'm more than happy if you want to keep saying things like this is what it's for, right? I want your picks for opening week. Here we go. Okay, so we're gonna go through the matchups, and I want to give a vote from each of you who thinks going to win. Opening game will be United versus Rival. Lars, I'll start here.
I mean, United are looking pretty good. Some of my old teammates there.
Yeah. Stoopy.
Yeah. Rival just got Sam that moved Twig to mid. I mean, I don't even know how it's gonna go with Twig mid because. I mean, we played a bit against him, but he was in EU, and I was in EU as well. So, and we played on NA server, so that's like ping, and so it's like so hard to judge. And I don't know, he's played mid before or something. I didn't play back then, but I've heard
he was originally mid, back in the BaRRaCCuDDA days is what we'll call those.
All right,
Wow.
but that's
I mean, that's what come on, it's been years at this
that's
point.
quite some time ago. I mean, it's hard to say. I think
You gotta give me a vote.
Yeah,
now.
I think so. Rival will win.
Rival win.
Yeah,
2-1.
2-1.
2-1.
Yeah.
SOT.
I'm gonna say United. Probably 2-1. It's gonna be really close. I think both teams are good, but Rival. I mean, I could be totally wrong, but Rival didn't have internet for a while, and they're kind of moving in. I think they, probably need more time to kind of learn their other roles a bit, like Twig going to mid, PK going to ADC. And I think Stream is just gonna like hard carry because he's like really good mechanically.
Okay.
It's gonna be close. But
So 2-1. United.
Yeah, United. Yeah.
Okay. And yourself, BaRRa?
I think it's a jungler matchup, whichever one shows up that day.
So Sam versus Scream.
Yeah, I think 100%. Whoever, just because they're both so mechanically good. I think it's going to be 2-0 either way.
Oh, no, you can't do that to me. I'm sorry. I'm not allowing those. You've got to give me an answer.
Give a name. Give a name. Give a name.
I love this team. It's
Rival.
great. These guys are Rival?
Yeah.
Rival 2-0. Okay. So, the fans at home, 93% believe Rival will win this one.
Yeah.
Only 6% are going with USOT and United so far. Next up, Knights versus Ghost. Going to start with you this time, as we started with LASBRA last time.
Knights versus Ghost.
Knights versus Ghost. Do you need the rosters? Do you know the rosters?
Ghost.
Yeah.
Probably
I'm trying to teach my casters the rosters still. They're getting confused.
Yeah, I'll probably say Ghost. I mean, Ghost is like a ton of mechanical skill. I mean, at Roar, Snipe Learner is still good. Like, Benji's like really good. I think Ghost probably.
Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, like PK is really good.
They just won Worlds, man.
Yeah, they won Worlds, but I mean, the past 2 years they weren't like a top team. They weren't like beating like all these top teams, and so they just had a really good run at Worlds, and they deserve to win 100%.
2-0, 2-1.
I'd say Ghosts 2-1.
Okay.
2-1.
BaRRa
I think goes 2-0.
goes 2-0.
All right. Kuba joined PK, old SK with the roster, pretty good
Old SK
synergy.
with Cubo.
Yeah, with Kuba now. They're pretty good synergy. Kuba is like, I mean, he's my best friend, and
You're gonna
like,
kill him this year, by the way.
yeah,
Put him in the dirt finally.
yeah, I'm gonna smack him this year, but like he can just fit every team. I think. Like I don't think it doesn't matter what team he's on, and like he's just super good.
But you still think he's gonna lose?
No.
Oh.
So I'm gonna say PK 2-0. Also for the fact that Ghost is moving in, and they have like, I think a Raw moved in yesterday. They have somebody flying in tomorrow.
Yeah.
Somebody coming in like Wednesday.
They're coming
or
in
something.
last minute, pretty much.
I tried to do that when I had to play for LG, and I had to go back to get my visa.
Yeah.
I came in one day before, and it's like, I scrimmed an EU ping. I was jet lagged when I had to play the first set, so it's like
That's a good way of looking at it. Yeah?
it's kind of like
all the other variability things.
It's
right?
like all that stuff. It might not like seem to affect anything, and like okay, you can still scrim and all that, but scrimming on ping is just, it's harder, but it's also more demotivating. I just want to be like a normal ping, be able to like do my stuff instead of getting frustrated of missing that I know I would hit on a normal ping, right? Because then everything just changes because of one scenario and then another scenario and all that. So
yeah. So you're going PK?
Yeah, I'm going PK
2-0?
2-0.
2-1?
Yeah, 2-0.
Ooh,
2-0.
okay. Only 15% of the audience believe PK going to win this one, interestingly enough. I did go Ghosts, even though I was roasting you, because it's weird, right? They won Worlds and everyone's like, yeah, Ghosts are going to win this. But super teams, right?
I think their honeymoon phase is going to be ridiculous.
Ghosts could be very good at the start.
Do you reckon they're going to be ramped fast well, but then fall maybe? Or?
Maybe not fall, but I mean they could fall, but I think they're going to be really at the start because they just have good mechanical skill.
Yeah,
it's funny because like we've seen super teams a lot.
Yeah, like
None of them have ever done it.
PK last year was like pretty good at the start, right? I think.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, that's, and then like it wasn't even half a year before he started falling apart, technically, right?
Yeah.
Super teams struggle. I swear they don't exist. Although this super team, to one. Next up, Sanguine versus Obey, the match of the week. Sanguine versus Obey. You're first this time, BaRRaCCuDDA.
I think Sanguine 2-1.
Okay.
I think both rosters are kind of coming in with a lot of their. I mean, Sanguine previous year, except for I guess Haddix.
Yeah, Haddix now out. Jakor is here. He's going to be with the team.
So I think they're going to be way stronger, but I think it's going to take a little bit of time for them to ramp up. And I think Obey with Wolfie and Inbound are going to take some time to adjust and time to ramp up.
Synergize, basically. Yeah.
I think Obey is going to be a pretty good team this year. I don't know if they'll be a top team, but I think they'll be pretty good. And I think Sanguine wins 2-1, just based off of prior experience.
Prior experience and knowledge. Laz?
Obey, old teammates, Wigan, Ducky, Worry.
You going with Obey?
Oh no, I'm just saying.
Oh,
I'm just trying to.
Oh,
put,
you're
like,
giving the team description.
That's
Okay,
my whole team.
Yeah.
They got Wolfie. He hasn't played competitive for 1 year now. He's coming back. I mean, he used to be pretty damn good. I know he used to
Made
shock
finals 2 years in a row, right?
Yeah,
Before that.
and he used to like shot call and like kind of control the team. I mean, he had plenty good players around him as well. He got that this time as well. Then Inbound, he's pretty aggressive and I personally loved Inbound for sure. And then on Sanguine, they made Wells without Jakor, but now Jakor's back. I don't know. I think surely he's better than Haddix because just if you look at the synergy and stuff, like it's hard for Haddix to come in on sub and he played really well.
Sure.
Now Jakor is back. I would bet he's like better than him, just team synergy and all that, and probably mechanically as well. I haven't played too much against him. But on that note, Obey is coming late in with some of the players again, so they've been scrimming from EU. I don't know if they haven't even. I don't even think they've scrimmed that much because of the issues and stuff.
So you use everything. You don't just use the names on paper. You're like, well, wait a second. His mum's birthday is on Tuesday of that week, and I know he's going to be out of town.
I've been through this myself, so it's like, And Wolf had to go back to Romania to get his visa, then back to the UK, and now he just flew in yesterday, and Ducky is flying in today or something. So they don't have much time to get the practice going and all that. So I would say Sanguine 2-0.
Sanguine for you. SOT?
Definitely Sanguine too. I mean, Lamos Sanguine, baby. But no, I think like Sanguine's like really good. They're mechanically very, very good. Like they're like ranked monsters, and I think they're like a very underrated underdog team kind of thing.
Sure.
I think they're gonna pop off. Like I think they're kind of like us. They're gonna need time to like kind of ramp up. I feel like, but I think they'll take this for sure.
So the
Can I change my vote
community.
to 2-0?
Sorry.
Can I change about after he
said that?
did his
the breakdown of the
yeah,
team.
he did his whole like
So it's 2-0
research.
Sanguine?
Yeah, I'm changing 2-0.
Yeah, the research is key, boys and girls. Remember that for your voting. Take into account. You listen to these guys a little bit.
Other mom's birthdays.
Sanguine, according to the community, 10% chance to win.
Yeah, on
90%
the
of the
voting,
community
yeah,
have
I've seen
voted
that.
against Sanguine
Weak
for this
nation,
one.
dude.
Yeah, Weak Nation is pretty strong. Last but not least, the big one. And I need a vote here too, and I'm expecting to go so. SSG versus Renegades, the final game of opening week. Where was I up to? Who said first last one? I'm pretty sure it was you. So we're back to LASBRA for first.
Wait, who's Renegades again?
There's this
Is that
kid that's
Jake or
never
something?
played competitive
Oh.
before, alongside a dude who's been around for 7 seasons,
Oh.
never teamed with a different support player ever before,
Okay.
failed miserably last year to make anything happen. There's a reject from the former Splice team that was favourites to win the World Championships. There's a mid laner who was previously a jungler, now he's back in the jungle again, struggled, should have made placements last year, didn't do it. And then, yeah, Venani, whoever that is.
Oh.
Who?
But they have Rose, so I think Renegades is going to win. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. Again, like, I think there's like a bit of the statement about, like, they've been, SSG, previous Renegades, and they have vote now. I mean, they're pretty damn consistent the last year. Their vote now, I think that's an upgrade. So, I mean, they scrimmed in EU before we even like got to scrim like our team, because they scrimmed the SML teams in EU.
Because they're all EU, right?
Yeah,
so
so
we're together.
they had so much time to like prepare and all
Before I
that.
get your prediction, like that's a really tough opening game as well.
Yeah,
in a
I mean,
weird
I
sense.
really want to win. I really want to come off to a good start, but just taking into consideration that like it's Jake's first game, I think SSG is
Man,
gonna.
how much better would it be if Jake popped off? In
Yeah,
that game, though?
exactly. I want to vote.
Everyone's mouth's gonna be
But
shut
like,
up there.
if I think we can definitely take a game, and we can also win this set. But I'm gonna say SSG 2-1 to be like I'm completely like just like
Being real.
Yeah, being real.
Yeah,
and I
that's
think
fair.
it's important to be real.
It's,
as well.
it's hard though, right? I guess if you're gonna play him and go,
Yeah.
we're gonna lose. Like it's hard to do that. At the same
Yeah.
time. I'm still gonna get it though. I don't care. SMT. What about you?
Yeah, I think SSG is like probably like a top 2 team. Like even at the moment, like they were so good last season. Like they were the only team that I like last season. The only team that I was worried about. Like I thought that would be like the world's finals games, like in semifinals. If we made it past SK, and I thought that was like the hardest game of like my entire like life.
Yeah.
I think we can 2 on them just based off like kind of the unexpected kind of like
Surprise.
like
Yeah.
run it down like
The
best of
surprise
3,
Jake,
the best
yeah.
of 3. I feel like we'll I think we're really good at like actually I probably shouldn't say anything, but I think
Same as that.
I think we can 2 on them. I wouldn't be surprised like if we get like 1-2 or something, but I think we'll at least take a game. But I'm fairly certain we can 2-1.
Yeah.
Finally, Barra.
Kind of agree with everything SOT said.
Yeah.
Some of what LASBRA said, except for the whole like losing thing. I mean, I think from a fan perspective, it definitely looks SSG oriented. But I think we can come out really strong right out of the gate for no reason.
Yeah. Is
And
that
also
because
win.
like people are not gonna know because you've not played as a team?
Yeah.
Like these are all like scraps of different teams that have been put together. Do you reckon this could be the surprise factor that could help?
We could just like get to LAN and everything clicks and we just like transfer everything over directly, or we could also take some time to ramp up. Like either way, we're gonna be sick, and like that's why I'm feel excited. But I'll say we 2-1.
2-1.
2-1.
You 2-1. Wow. I'm not wow in a negative sense. Good for you.
Yeah.
Stand up for yourselves. 14% of the audience believe you will win.
That's higher than I thought.
14, which is more than Sanguine against Obey, funnily enough. So 14%, I think the Barra boys are still there. The
I
fish
stream
tank's
more.
still there. Yeah, you do, clearly. Then SSG with about 85% chance with the fans, which kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see you guys play. You all seem like excited. You all seem to realize the state you're in this year of like what you've got to look forward to. Any shouts you want to give to the fans or anybody before we let you go?
Shout out to Awesome Jake.
Shout out to Jake. Yep. Shout out to Plasma.
To who?
Plasma.
Plasma.
Oh, I thought you said Plammer. I was
I
like,
did, yeah. I call him Plasma.
Is that-
But I think of him a shout out every time someone says shout out. I give him a shout out.
Yeah, shout out to my coach last year, Plasma.
Well, that's it from the Renegades this time round. There's another team check, and hopefully we'll get to see these guys in action in the coming weeks and see how well this team does. We'll see you all later.